It's Labor Day, and today we're going to do a little bit of something different. We're going to do a challenge between Camden and myself. I'm heading into Charlotte. We're going to do some thrift store stops, see what we can find. He's going into a city near us, Winston Salem, where we really have a lot of success, maybe better so than Charlotte, which is probably a much bigger city. But we're going to each go out on this Labor Day, stop at various thrift stores, see what we can find, and then come back and maybe try to decide who won this challenge. So stay tuned, and we'll see. First stop was Value Village, one of the Value Villages here in Charlotte. Those stores are very overwhelming sometimes because there's so much in there. Didn't really do super well today in there, in this particular one. So I found this head tennis bag for $4.14. It's in really good shape. I'm thinking it'll probably sell in the $25–30 range, but it was in good shape, so I picked it up. The next thing that could be boom or bust is this Panasonic typewriter, and people do buy these, and I find the ones that have the little digital display are the ones that generally sell for the most. But I found some listings for this one that were, I think, anywhere from $200–300, but I didn't see any sales, but I did see sales in this same family. So for $15, I'm going to give this a shot. I did plug it in, test it out. The digital display works, the keys work, so this could be a really good find. My next stop was a Goodwill, and I picked up this Cleveland Tour Action 8-iron. That's really the only thing I got in there. It was $2.13, so I think they sell for like $25–30. So somebody trying to complete a set. That's an older version of Cleveland irons, but somebody will certainly pick that up eventually. So if it was any more expensive than $2, I may not have picked it up, but $2.13 is hard to beat. Just leaving this Goodwill, and got a couple good finds. So the first thing, for I think these are like $2 or $3. These little baby Air Maxes. So these actually had 3 listings and 6 sales. So I know that they'll move pretty fast, but probably for around $30–35. So I know that some of these shoe collectors' Air Maxes are really good. These are from 2014, but I know that some father sons, and I guess mother daughters maybe want to pair up with the same pair of shoes sometimes. So I thought those were cool, and wish they were my size, honestly. The second thing that I found is this outlet. This is a Smart Sock 2. These sell pretty well, probably close to $100+. I did pay up for that. $29.99 is, or $32 after taxes, but I know that they sell extremely fast. I think there's maybe 200 listings and 600 sales, even used and pre-owned. So I think pretty quickly we'll be able to sell that for $100 to $115, probably plus shipping added on to that. So even though I paid $29.99 for it, that's a pretty good find, because I know that will turn pretty fast. So on to the next stop. All right, so I'm outside of this next Goodwill here, and I did pick up a couple items. So the first thing is this Cuisinart. I kind of wish this is what was in there, but I think this is going to actually be just as good. This is an old Cuisinart Pro 7, which the parts on these things, even though one of these pieces is broken, they sell extremely well. So I know people love their food processing pieces. Once they buy them, they try to keep them for a long time. So we've done really well with these in the past. The next thing I bought is this Callaway Big Bertha driver for $2. Not something I would typically pick up, but I think that I have the 3-wood, 5-wood, maybe a 7-wood at home, so I may piece those together that we don't even have listed yet and sell them together. Those older Callaways still do pretty well. I mean, I think it had 1,000 listings and 980 sales, so still a pretty good sell through, and probably sell for 20-25 bucks, but I'm going to put them together and see how we do on that, which is the main reason. So just leaving this Value Village, there was a couple of things I would have probably bought, but they weren't great, and the line was ridiculous. It's like back to the back of the building, so I'm just going to leave those be. Sometimes your time is worth more than getting a couple items that you think that you could do okay with. So we'll try that one again whenever, maybe it's not Labor Day. I think this may have been a bad idea, honestly, because there's so many people out, and so we generally do best just at random days during the week. Nothing special about the day or anything. So I didn't do super well today, and speaking to Camden, I don't think he did very well today. So I think that our challenge may be a little lackluster. So we'll see what we can compare and contrast when we get back, and take it from there. So I completely lied. I went to another Goodwill, and I may get one more before I get home, just kind of backtracking towards our house. And so I did have a few more base hits in here. So I ended up buying these three Prince tennis rackets. So these were $1.99 a piece. This one is in actually really good shape, and so I'll probably sell it separately. I'm not 100% sure what that may sell for, but it's in good shape. I'm thinking probably in that $40 to $50 range. These two aren't quite as good, but at $1.99, it's hard to pass up on a decent tennis racket. And I may sell these together, just lot them together. So maybe there's a tennis instructor or a parent that wants to get them, and then put those out there and see how they do. Another thing that I just bought, which looks ridiculous and silly, but I just sold one of these the other day, so I found another one for $4.99. These things can sell for like anywhere from $40 to $70, just depending. So we'll put that up. And then lastly, I got this Garden Claw Gold, and it's one of these little tiller things. So the telltale sign that sometimes that something has demand is when you see a sold, but it had like 15 or 16 bids or 9 or 10 bids. It tells you that there's likely demand for that item. So those things sell for like $50 plus shipping. I don't know why. Again, I don't ever, I try to understand why some of these things sell so well, even pre-owned, but nonetheless, a few more base hits there that we can put up that I think we'll do pretty well with. So I ended up going to one more Goodwill, and I did find not much, but I did get this Revere ware for $4.99. It's a vintage Clinton, Illinois 6-quart, and it's really will not take a lot to clean this, which definitely goes into our decision-making process now. We used to take on some more that were maybe a bit more challenging, whereas now we maybe skip over those. But that, I mean, that'll sell for probably $30 plus the buyer pay shipping. So $4.99. It's got the lid and the base. Vintage Revere ware. They're a good pickup if you can find them. They're not gonna make you a millionaire by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, like I said, we're looking for base hits, and eventually we'll hit a home run by accident, or maybe even a grand slam. So decent way to close out the day, at least. So I want to go over some of the things that Camden found in our Thrift Off challenge that was probably a little more lackluster than we would hope it would have been on Labor Day. And so one of his items I already sold before I could even film it. And so it seems like life passes me by faster than I can actually chronicle or film it. So, but I did want to go ahead and show you that. I'll throw that up on the screen. It was a physics beer tap dispenser that sold for 80 some odd dollars, and I believe he paid $10 to $20 for it, but it was new. So that was super cool. I think that sold yesterday or today, which is Wednesday, and we just bought it on Labor Day Monday. And so that's a quick turnaround of a sale. So he did beat me there. he sold the first item before I did, but he did get some good finds, and I'm going to go over those. So the first thing is, and I mentioned pots, I believe, or I've mentioned these before, but this is a really good one to look out for, Magnolite. So if you ever see Wagner on the bottom of these pots, this is looks like a roaster or some kind of Dutch ovenish type pot, but you'll see the Wagnerware designation on the bottom, and then of course Magnolite. So these do really well, and this unfortunately will need some cleaning, which is not one of our favorite tasks, but this, I believe he paid $20 for this. This will probably sell for over $100, and it will likely sell pretty fast. So anytime that we see Magnolite, we generally pick it up, especially if it's reasonably priced. So we'll get that cleaned up and listed. Another thing that people buy, and it's kind of funny that it says money right there. So that's what we're trying to do here. But this is a Kodak Carousel 850H, and we have bought these in the past, and we've sold quite a few of these. But you can see he paid $20 for this, and which is paying up for this, honestly, because we've gotten them for much cheaper. But the cool thing about this one is it's in really good condition. So the lens is not on there, but it's in the box, and it's kind of sealed up, nice and neat. And so it has the full set, instructions, and everything. So this will probably sell for over $100. So again, $20. We paid probably less than these for at yard sales and other places that don't know that these have value, but this will certainly do okay. All nice and neat in the box, so we'll take that for sure. This is the next thing that he found. He paid $7 for at Goodwill, and this is a bug killer 960, which is I believe it's a fogger for killing insects. So this, I'm guessing, will probably sell for that $35-$40 range, and the buyer will probably pay shipping. So not a huge return there, but definitely worth the pickup at $7. And then the next thing, and this is the fifth and final item that he found on our Labor Day challenge, Thrift Off, is this Magnavox. So anytime you see the combo and it's Magnavox, you probably want to pick it up. We just sold we've sold two of those recently. One sold for $230, and the other one sold for I think $150. Now this one is definitely not going to sell for that. This one is more like probably like a $50. And if it had the remote with it, it would probably sell closer to $80, $90. So again, we'll have to get that cleaned up. We'll test it out, make sure it works. VCRs are very finicky. And in fact, sometimes the VCR part, which you think would be the part that would break, works, and then the DVD side doesn't. And some of these you can still sell for parts and get your money back at least. We paid $10 for this one, but it's not uncommon to find those for $5 at some Goodwills. So Magnavox DVD, VCR combos, you definitely want to look those up and pick them up if they're reasonably priced. I would say $10 or less. And if they're the really good models, then you probably pick them up at a much higher price than that. So definitely look those up. But all in all, we'll try to run some numbers here just to kind of get an idea of how Team Camden versus Team Dad went.